In this video, we're going to multiply binomials and trinomials. So let's start with the first problem. X squared negative 2. Now, what is a binomial? A binomial simply means that there are two terms. Over here, we have two terms. 1, 2. Terms are separated by addition signs or by minus signs or subtraction signs. Here we have three terms, 1, 2, 3. And binomial, bi stands for 2 and trinomial, tri stands for 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and now let's use the distributive property to solve this problem. So I will write x here and let's rewrite this trinomial over here. Now let's multiply x to each term. So x times x squared is x to the third power. Whenever you multiply, you have to add the powers. Now x times negative 3x will be negative 3x squared. Sorry, this one was x cubed. Now x times negative 2. Well, we will have a negative answer, which will be 2x. All right, now let's write 5 over here and let's multiply 5 to this trinomial. 5 times x squared will be positive 5x squared. 5 times negative 3x, negative 15x, and 5 times negative 2, negative 10x. Now we need to look for like terms, and whenever we add or subtract, that's when we look for like terms. So our final answer, let's look for a like term, x to the same degree. Find a like term or find a variable that has the same degree. No, we don't have, so this will stay like this. Now negative 3x squared. Let's find a degree. This one over here, positive 5x squared. So now negative 3x plus 5x squared will be positive 2x squared. So this is, we can cancel it. And now we have negative 2, degree of 1. This one over here, which is negative 15. Now we're adding two negatives, so we will have a negative and we will have 15 plus 2 is 17, so negative 17x. And this is a constant and we have no like terms in the constant, so we just simply rewrite this over here and this is our answer. Right, go ahead and pause the video and try solve this by yourself. Okay, so I'll go ahead and solve it. So this is a binomial and this is a trinomial. Let's go ahead and let's rewrite 4 here and let's multiply 4 to this trinomial. Now 4 times 5, well 4 times 5b squared is 20b squared. 4 times positive 5b, 20b, and positive 4 times negative, when the signs are different when multiplying, we will get a negative, so that is negative 16. Great. Now let's take negative b and let's multiply it to the trinomial. Always try to keep your working organized. Now negative b times 5, simply it's like 1 times 5, so that will be negative 5b cubed or to the third power. Negative b times positive 5b will be negative 5b squared. Next, negative b times negative 4, negative times a negative, positive 4b. Okay, so now we can go ahead and write our final answer. Let's look for like terms. Degree of 3, b to the degree of 3, Do we have any like terms? We don't, so we rewrite this over here. Now, what about this one over here? B to the second power. This one is B to the second power. 20 minus 5b, that will be positive 15b to the second power. Next we have 4b, positive 4b, and here we have positive 20b. So we will add these two, and that will be 24b. And any constants, only negative 16 is the only constant. So we will rewrite it over here, and this is our final answer. Right now, I will teach you another effective way to multiply binomials and trinomials, and we will use the vertical method. It simply means that we will align vertically these terms and we will multiply them. Okay, so let's take the trinomial and let's write it over here. And let's take the binomial and write it over here. Now we will take negative 3 and we'll multiply to these terms. So let's start with negative 3 times positive 4. That will be negative 12. Negative 3 times negative 2, negative times a negative, that's positive, and that will be positive 6n. Negative 3 times positive n to the second power, we'll have negative 3n to the second power. Now, let's take n and multiply to these three terms, and n times positive 4, we'll have 4n, positive 4n. N times negative 2n, we will have negative 2n to the second power. N times n squared, we will add the powers, that will be positive 3 positive n to the third, or n cube. Right, so now let's go ahead and let's add these terms. So over here we'll simply have a 0, so we'll bring down the 12. Now over here 6 plus 4, 6 plus 4 will have 10n. Now negative 3 plus negative 2. So we're adding two negatives. That'll be negative 5n squared, and bring down this term here. And this is our final answer. Now I'll give you one, and you can pause the video and you can solve it yourself. And let's see if we get the same answers at the end. Okay, so vertical method. We need to use a vertical method over here. So let's practice the vertical method. Let's write a trinomial. And let's write a binomial over here. Now let's multiply. Let's multiply 1. So, you know, when we multiply any number by 1, we get back the same numbers. So we'll get back the same numbers here. These are just some basics you should know. Whenever you multiply 1 by any number, you get back that same number, especially if it's positive. Be careful if it's a negative 1. Alright, so now we'll take 6, and 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42, but we will have 42e, and that's a positive. Now 6 times 5 is 30, and negative sign over here, so that will be negative 30e. 1 plus 1, that's e to the second power. And now 6 times 3 is 18. Add the powers, 3, 2 and 1, that's a e to the cube. Right, now go ahead and let's add or subtract. Over here we will have positive 0, so that will be positive 7. And now 42 minus 5. 42 minus 5 is 37. So we'll have 37e. Next we have 30 minus 3, which will be negative 27e to the second power. And this term over here, let's just bring it down here. There you have it. And that's how you multiply binomials and trinomials. If this video was helpful, let me know down in the comments and try to give the video a like. It really supports the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.